Hey guys, Brady here. So the past weekend, this year, I done a video game that was not really much of a classic, Adventure Time at Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's not good. I mean, if you want to play 3D open world RPG with no Adventure Time elements whatsoever, please go ahead. Be my guest. But the weirdest part is that it... Hold up, let me take out my Joy-Cons, because they will ruin everything. Wait. One thing is, see that right there? That's the stamp of death. Now, as we all know, for video games, there's many stamps of death. There's D3 Publisher, there's LJN, and of course, there's Outright Games. For those of you who don't know what Outright Games is a video game company known for making horrendously weird transitions for cartoons. You know, I'm talking, they made, well, hold on, I'm trying to think what their first game was. I'm not entirely sure if it was Adventure Time. I don't know. No. Adventure Time came out in 2018. However, their very first transition into the realm of video games began with Ben 10. Now, there's been countless Ben 10 games, you know, for Wii, DS, PS3, whatnot. But this was probably the most bizarre. Obviously, it is based off of the newer generation of Ben 10, the new crappy version that nobody wants to talk about. They're also responsible for such amazing hits, such as Jumanji the video game, Hotel Transylvania 3, Monsters Overboard. Are you kidding me right now? That movie was good, but did it really just warrant a video game? They also made, and then comes the games that are meant for toddlers. Now, there used to be this rating thing called EC, for early childhood, which means that the game is meant for 3 to 6 year olds, probably. Yeah, 3 to 4 or 5 year olds, whatever. It was meant for babies. They've also made some games meant for children on Switch, because we really need that, right? They made a Paw Patrol game. They made a game based off of Gigantosaurus, which is one of the newer children's cartoons. I don't even know what it is. But they also made a game that many consider to be one of their worst works of all time. Race with Ryan. It was, when I first saw it, I was like, are you kidding me right now? Did they really just do that? Again, they've made some nice little things that myself included would probably be, people of a certain age, myself included, would also be interested in. You know, like I said, Ben 10 looks cool. It's a 3D beat-em-up kind of game. Adventure Time, which really didn't do well at all. They made Crayola Scoot, which got an incredible cult following and a insane amount of attention. And they also made a game based off of Ugly Dolls, one of the worst movies of 2018, I would say. Then they also made Jumanji the game, which looks good, but I heard flopped. And they, of course, also made a How to Train Your Dragon game, which, really? That is not a good idea. But it's also a good idea at the same time. So why is Outright Games so bad? Well, here's the reason. Outright Games came after the downfall of LJN. For those of you who don't know what LJN is, it's a little rainbow that the logo is a rainbow and has the letters L, J, and N. And they used to be a toy company, which were responsible for stuff like Thundercats toys and etc. But then they went into the realm of video games. They made some of the worst NES games of all time. They made The Karate Kid. They made A Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, Jaws, Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Beetlejuice. These are all real things. These are all real things. And they are responsible for literally every single console port of Terminator 2. Even on the Game Boy. So naturally, LJN faded into obscurity. So, well, technically, they didn't make the games. They were a publisher. They distributed a game out to other companies. So that means their game, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, wasn't really made by LJN. It was published. And it was made by Disney, which also made Who Framed Roger Rabbit. And then naturally, Bill and Ted had to have been made by the same company that made the movie. But it was published by LJN. And so they faded into obscurity, never to be heard from again. So naturally, many companies have been trying to do the same thing that LJN has been doing by releasing horrible tie-ins for good movies and shows. For example, D3 Publisher. They've made some interesting hits, to say the least. They made 2 Adventure Time games. Adventure Time Explosion, because I don't know, was horrible, I heard. It's a guilty pleasure for me. I don't give a crap. I mean, I can understand why it's so bad, but... And they also made Hey Ice King, Why'd You Steal Our Garbage for Nintendo DS and 3DS. And I kind of think that one is... it's alright. But they also made a Coraline video game. A Coraline video game! Based off of the Tim Burton movie. And then they also made the Despicable Me video game. For DS, Wii, and... yeah, DS and Wii. And PS3, I believe. Or PSP. I don't follow D3 Publisher. If they had a social media, I'd be like, nope, no thanks. And so we have 2 bizarre companies that really love to rip off LJN. There's Game Mill, which is less harmful. I mean, they've made Cartoon Network Battle Crashers, which was horrible. They made Nickelodeon Kart Racers. Like, what? That's a really, really bad game. And then, of course, they made the Goosebumps game, which was basically a point-and-click adventure based off of the television series. I don't know if you would want to watch the television series, though, because it was really, really bad. And so we have Outright Games, which is just full-on LJN, nothing else. If you have watched The Angry Video Game Nerd, chances are that you have experienced him experiencing these horrendous games. No, not Outright Games, LJN. He experienced The Karate Kid, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Jaws, T2, Judgment Day, Bill and Ted, and Beetlejuice. And Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street. He did all of those games. And even though they may not have had their separate episodes, they still had their own place in a single episode. So, in the end, what you can really say about Outright Games? Is there a good future? A bright future? Or is there a dull, bad future? I'm gonna go 90% to dull future. Which is awkward to say, because there's a ton of amazing hits on Switch. Mario Odyssey, Smash Ultimate, Breath of the Wild, Kirby Star Allies, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. And by the way, how's that new Shantae game for you guys? Seven Sirens. I heard that was a hit. So, I'm going to say there's a dull future for this company, but at least they'll turn out a few good games here and there. So, let me know your thoughts on Outright Games, and let me know if you've bought any of their products. Jesus Christ, if you did, good luck. So if you guys want more discussions based off of things, I'll be there for you. So, see you guys next time for a game review, and it's a requested one. And let me tell you, it's a weird game. So, sayonara, peeps. Take care.